All right, every time I do a video that's not about like vintage superhero figures, as soon as I drop the video, I always lose a couple subscribers. But in the long run, the weird videos like that, they usually find their audience and they're usually like the most rewarding ones I do. So here we go. Here's another one. Let's talk about baseball. May 22nd, 1988, I went to my first baseball game. Most of the time, you always see me wearing like Red Sox hats and stuff, but because now I live in Massachusetts. But I used to be from New York. So, first game I ever went to, New York Yankees versus Oakland A's. I got to see my favorite players from when I was a little kid. I got to see Jose Canseco and Mark McGwire, the Bash brothers, playing against my favorite team, the Yankees, back in the day. Uh, I'm the worst fan that there is. Once your team gets good, I always jump off the bandwagon. I lived in New York all through the 90s. I jumped off the bandwagon when the Yankees won three in a row and all the stuff afterwards. I moved to Massachusetts. Tom Brady, I got sick after two Super Bowls. I couldn't stand it no more. But back in the day, the Yankees stunk, and they were playing the Bash Brothers. First game I ever went to, school trip, fifth grade. It ruled. And what else was so important about that game? It was Glove Day from Gatorade, sponsored. Hell yeah. So that's what I'm talking about with the weird stuff. Somebody out there has probably got this glove, and they're probably searching it, and this is the only video on it, probably. I didn't even bother to Google it. Look at this guy right there. School trip. Every school trip I went to two games, I think. The next year, it was a preseason game. It was the Mets versus the Yankees, and we got hats. And another year, it was starting lineup figure. Yeah, starting lineup figures. That was pretty cool. But yeah, look at this. Sponsored by ShopRite. Are they even still around? They were in New York, tri-state area, I think. Shopping center and Gatorade. And look, it's still in really good condition. I busted this thing out maybe. Well, couldn't have been last summer because everybody's quarantined. I think it was the year before that because this has been in my car for a while. Last time I broke this out for a catch at a barbecue. And yeah, I was like, why am I using this thing? Because this is mint. Don't put this back. I got another one, the next day at the thrift store. This is my original glove from back then. It barely fits now. It was so soft. I filled it full of cotton balls. But that was a great game. Look at this thing. Let's get a closer look at it. This doesn't even feel like leather. This is like pleather. This thing feels like plastic, but I loved it. And I remember I bought the baseball too, and I told my mom I caught it, and I didn't keep the lie going. I couldn't keep a lie going like that. I said I joking like 5 minutes later. Let's get a super close look at this thing. Genuine cowhide laced. It is actually genuine cowhide glove. The laces are, but even those kind of feel like plastic. And of course it was made in Taiwan. And custom built. Even though they probably handed out, good 20, 30,000 of these that day. For every kid came in the turnstiles. Probably the same company did these for every baseball glove day in every stadium that year. And all the years thereafter. Because every year you got to have glove day. Then you have bat day and hat day and all sorts of bobblehead day. I did not play with this ball. I always kept it on my shelf looking nice and neat. It still looks like I just bought it, and this thing's like 30-something years old. Slightly yellow, but it's going to sit on my shelf just like that. I'm not going to take this out to barbecue again. I tried keeping tickets to every event I ever went through. I think I have every baseball ticket I ever got. Every concert, I wish I had a ticket for it, but nowadays you don't even get the ticket in the mail. You got to pay extra for that, and I just print them out at home, bring them, boom, there it is. That's even being lame now because you can use your phone. Here, it's right on there. Boom, they scan it. I don't even do that. I print them out. This is the baseball reference guide, and apparently it was a lousy game. It was 2-0. And John Candelaria pitched, and who did he pitch against? Was it Eckersley? Was it anybody cool? Storm Davis. He was popular back in the day. He was on the World Series team. Got to see the whole 1988 Oakland A's All-Star team. Look at there. We got Walt Weiss, Lando Mercado, Glenn Hubbard, Dave Henderson, Don Baylor, who was a Yankee, Mark McGuire, Canseco, Dave Parker, Carney Lansford, Storm Davis was pitching. Here's the Yankees. I got to see Ricky Henderson, Willie Randolph, Don Mattingly, Jack Clark. He got the 2 hits that day, scored the runs. It was only a 2-hour game. I went to another game a couple of years ago. CC Sabathia was pitching. It was only 2 hours, which stunk because we drove 3 hours back to New York to go see it. Mike Pagliarulo, he was a big star for about 2 minutes there in New York. Joel Skinner and some guy I don't even remember, Rafael Santana. Oh, who's Claudel Washington? I don't even remember him. He was center field for the Yankees. Nobody remembers him. If you're watching Claudel, I'm sorry. Yeah, so let's cross-promote some old videos here. Here's my starting lineup figures from back then. Because, yeah, I was living in New York. Basically, you can only get, like, New York players back in the day. Got Jack Clark. Remember, he was a big-time signing. He was coming off the Cardinals. And here's Lenny Dykstra, who's better known as a weirdo on the Howard Stern show these days, and all of his many run-ins with the law. Lenny Dykstra also was signing autographs at my local comic book store and baseball card shop back in the day. I got his autograph. And also Ron Darling did too. So I got that too. Pretty fun. His autograph was like $3 or something. Something ridiculously cheap. There was like a line around the block too. Of course, here was the 87 Topps Mark McGuire card. It wasn't officially his rookie. He was on like the Olympic team card from 1985 set. So this is worth barely anything. And this card, which I thought I'd be rich by now, because look how much I was paid for it back then. It's $55. I don't remember how much I paid for it. Probably $30 or something. Yeah, they're worth about $3 a piece now. So that kind of hurts. Kind of hurts. But my most valuable baseball possession, because I lived in New York, and he signed autographs at card shows like every other weekend there, was my Mickey Mantle ball, which is, I cannot verify or authenticate. I remember seeing it at that baseball card shop, and my parents ended up getting it for me for my birthday. It was only like $30 or something. If this was verified now, it'd probably be like hundreds of dollars, but this is something I figure you keep. Do I need $300-400? It'd be nice, but I'm not dying right now. I would rather have something cool like this. So I'm going to keep Mickey Mantle's baseball, and I don't even know where you go get something like this authenticated. I ain't going on Pawn Stars or nothing. What do you think? Is that really Mickey Mantle's autograph? It looks like it. I compared and contrasted it to many videos and, pictures online. But that guy who owned that comic book shop, baseball cards there, he was pretty shady. You would not want to buy like the packs of cards at the beginning of the season there, because he always steamed them open, and took all the good cards out. But that was before the internet, so I don't know how well he could have, found pictures and references and stuff to fake Mickey Mantle's autograph there. Like I said, like there was a baseball card show in White Plains like every month, and they would always have like Duke Snyder there and all the other New York legends there signing autographs. Mickey Mantle was always there. Joe DiMaggio was always there. I think you were getting autographs from him for probably like $15-20. Now at Comic-Cons, paying $200 for Mark Hamill and stuff. Like late 90s came around, the Yankees kept winning World Series after World Series. A friend of mine back in the day, he turned into a real dick about sports. You couldn't even talk to him anymore. He couldn't have like a rational conversation. So I ended up like absolutely hating the Yankees. especially since I moved to Massachusetts then too. And I was just like bitter against the Yankees because I didn't even want to move because my family was all moving there. So I was like, all right, I got to go too. But then Red Sox were in a heated rivalry with them. There was 2003. Then they finally overcame them 2004. I was all in on baseball. I would catch at least a little bit of every game all year long. A couple of seasons there. But then baseball, after the Red Sox get the big win, kind of starts to dissipate. They worried about that with the Curse of the Bambino. Would anybody care anymore? Not immediately, but and then they won again, and then they won again, and then I kind of stopped the urgency around. I think all of Massachusetts, people stopped caring about the Red Sox like they used to. Everybody switched to being Patriots fans. Plus, I got into playing fantasy sports. That one season playing fantasy baseball, and your allegiances are out the window. I picked A-Rod because I wanted to win, and he had a crappy year that year too. But I'm watching, like, paying attention to Seattle Mariners games and stuff like that. It's like, I need this guy to get my hit and stuff like that. I didn't care what game, but just getting weird and off topic. Hey, whatever. But now I get excited when the baseball season begins, but I don't think I've watched more than 2 or 3 innings of 3 or 4 games a month and a half into the season. So it was only a month. We're only a month in. I barely paid attention. This is a weird video on baseball. Just wanted to talk. Show you my baseball glove. Share little stories.